Hello, my name's Stephen. Over the last few months, we've been looking at some of the old English Bibles that first came out back in the 1600s. Things like the King James Bible, the Geneva Bible, the Grace Bible, the Douay-Rheims Bible, the Tyndale translation, etc. And today, have you ever thought about the fact that is it possible to actually own a copy of these old Bibles? Maybe a copy of it, but maybe an original Bible from that era. Today in this video, we're going to have a look at 3 websites that actually sell these old antique Bibles. But first, the oldest Bible that I have on my bookshelf is this particular Bible. It's an authorized version, and it belonged to my grandfather, who was a Methodist minister, and it was printed in 1911. So that's 113 years old. That's the oldest Bible I have. While I'm thinking of it, what is the oldest Bible that you have? Do you have a Bible as old as this one, over 100 years old? Do you have something that's even older? If you do, please leave a comment, and also, if possible, put a photograph of your Bible. That would be so great. But the thing that I also wanted to share before we get on to these websites and have a look at the Bibles that are for sale, actually, the oldest book that I have is this old beauty here. Now you can see that the cover is pretty well knocked around. Back of it, it's got no cover at all. And it is called, I'll show you a photo of it. It is called The Death of Abel in 5 books. And this copy was 1797. 1797, this little book. Isn't that amazing? Wow. So, a book as old as that, maybe even older. But let's have a look at 3 websites that sell old antique Bibles or copies thereof. Now, they have not paid me to promote their websites. They have not even suggested that I promote their websites, but I just found these websites online, just doing a random search, and you may even find other ones which are better or worse, but let's just have a look at them and see what they offer. Okay, so looking at this particular website, it's called the greatsite.com, greatsite.com. It says it's the world's largest dealer of rare and antique Bibles. And as we scroll down, they do a bit of a rundown of rare antique holy Bibles, what they have, etc., and who they are, etc. They can shop their bookshelves, have ancient rare Bibles and books, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Online digital archive of ancient Bibles. And they also have an English Bible history, and they also subscribe to their e-newsletter. So on this particular page, they actually do have a video that you can watch where it describes what they provide on their site. And they have a look at why rare antique Bibles, acquiring an ancient original antique Bible printed in the 15, 16, 1700s can be an enormously rewarding experience for any Christian who appreciates God's word. As we've been looking at in those previous videos, it's exciting looking at these old Bibles. So let's have a look at the ancient rare Bibles and books that they have on offer. And we open it up, and down the left-hand side here, we can choose, we can drill down to all the Bibles, ancient theology books, bishops and great Bibles, King James Bible, King James with Geneva notes, etc. You can have a look at ages, when they were printed. You can have a look at the size, whether it's a lectern, huge pulpit Bible, or standard, etc. And at the moment, it's got the default sort. Let's just change that to price from high to low. Okay, price high to low. Here on this left-hand side, we see the King James Bibles, 1611 to 1639. All 5 of the first edition pulpit folio King James Bibles, and they're selling it for a mere $299,500. Oldest English Bibles, 1537, first edition of Matthew Tyndale Bible, $195,000. A 1611 King James Pulpit Folio first edition, $149,000. But then the prices start to drop. We can get things like Coverdale, 1538 Coverdale New Testament, $44,000. And down further, a bit further, we have 1742, Jonathan Edwards in America, a revival, New England, first edition, 12,900. And so if you're in the market for an old Bible, there are some out there and they're worth a lot of money. We have things like 1585, John Calvin, Acts of the Apostles, for 3,700. 1672, King James with the Geneva Notes for 5,490, and the list goes on. So if you're interested in an old Bible, this is one of the places you can come to have a look. But let's just have a look here at the English Bible history that they also provide. And I thought I sort of like this. It sort of runs through, we won't read it, but it runs through the various history of the English Bible, the Christian Church, the Protestant Reformation. It covers a brief rundown of people like John Wycliffe, John Hus, Johann Gutenberg. Remember, he did the first major printing press. A guy called Thomas Linacre, John Colet, Erasmus, as we mentioned too before in several of our Bibles, who did the Greek New Testament. William Tyndale in his New Testament, followed by Martin Luther. And a bit more history there of Martin Luther. And then we come across a guy called Miles Coverdale, as we had a look at previously in some of those other Bibles, Coverdale Bible, etc. And then we had John Rogers, who put out the Matthews Bible, and Thomas Cranmer, King Henry VIII, Queen Mary I, John Fox with his Book of Martyrs, John Calvin, and then we have things like John Knox again, and then down to King James I, who brought out the King James Bible in 1611, and then John Bunyan, etc., and John Eliot, Noah Webster, as we had a look at the Webster Bible in America, and then they run through the various more modern versions there. But interesting thing is, though, they actually do have a timeline all the way from 1400 BC with the Ten Commandments from Moses, all the way up through, you can read at your own leisure, all the different translations, when they were brought out in different Bibles, etc., right up to 2002. So that's a look at the greatsite.com. Pretty comprehensive. And as you can see, they've got some pretty nice Bibles there dating back quite a few hundred years, but they're worth quite a few dollars. But if you want something else, you can get it. The second site we're going to have a look at is a site called the Bible Museum. Let's just check it out, the Bible Museum. Now, this one's slightly different to the other one we had a look at previously. It's got ancient Bibles, but it's also got things called facsimiles, where you can, it'll actually bring up a facsimile of the ancient Bible. And as you can see, they are much more affordable, $395 for a 1535 Coverdale first printed English Bible. 1536 Tyndale New Testament, heavily illustrated, $229. And so these are just facsimiles. They're not the actual original Bible themselves, but they've also got ancient Bible leaves, which means you can choose particular pages. For example, 1611 King James Pulpit Bible, we click on that one, ranging from $49 to $595, and you can choose different passages that they have available just in pages. In the original thing there, you can buy a page from Genesis 1, Psalm 23, 10 Commandments, John 3:16, etc. But let's just have a look at their ancient Bibles. And again, we will have a go to the sort from high to low and see what they have. 1537 Matthews Bible, and they're selling it for $300,000. A 1545 Greek Bible for $19,200. John Bunyan, as in Pilgrim's Progress, he wrote a book called Justification by Faith, and that's worth $12,950. 1616, a Geneva Folio Bible for $9,495. Sold out, but a 1605 Geneva Bible for $8,000. And the list goes on, all the different, some of the older Bibles, but as they get newer, they get to be worth a lot less. So that's the Bible Museum. And as you can see, they've got ancient Bibles, but maybe not quite as many as the Great Site. But they've also got facsimiles, and they've also got ancient Bible leaves that you can purchase. The third one we're going to have a look at is Antique Bibles, or antiquebible.com. And let's just check it out. And this one's Antique Bible, and it says across the front here, Rare Bibles from the Reformation. and it has scroll down the page. You can go here for a new collector or an avid collector. We curate the finest antique Bibles, offering them as historical works of art to be cherished for generations. Great gift ideas, perfect for starting, expanding your collection, or handmade works of art. And as you can see there, they've got things like the Geneva Bible with its old original cover, King James Bible. Scroll back to the top and it says Browse Our Bibles. Extensive inventory of rare Bibles, Bible leaves, theology books, and prayer books for sale. And as we come down here, we can search for Bibles, category Bibles. And we can sort it as being price, high to low, once again. And here we have 1611, the great first edition of the King James Bible here on the left for $150,000. 1582 here in the center, Reims New Testament, and 1609 to 10 Douay Old Testament First Edition Roman Catholic Bible for $25,000. 1602 Folio Bishop's Bible for $25,000. So their prices aren't quite as high as the Great Site, and probably not quite as rare as the ones they have on the Great Site. But as you can see, they've got quite an extensive range of various old Bibles. Also, again, they've got about them, who they are, their commitment, etc. And also you can learn about Bibles, antique Bibles, the history of them again, history of the Geneva Bible, history of the King James Bible, our Bible buying guide, etc. And here in the Bible buying guide, which is interesting, it goes through all the technical terms such as what are the different sizes of Bibles you can buy. Are they normal size, quarto books, folio, large pulpit Bibles? How are they collated? How are they collated? Extra features within them. The provenance of the Bible. Does it go back to a particular famous person, which means it really is worth something then? They look at woodcuts, what they are, and how the actual pages have these pretty photos, pictures on them, but actually created by carving blocks of wood. Some Bibles had red rule, the different types of bindings that they had, the margins, the illumination, the amount of paintwork or the color they put on them, all changes the value of them, the font, the various types of fonts, etc. So the factors that contribute to the price of an antique Bible, they say, is its format, its collation, its provenance, its woodcuts, its margins, its font, early editions, misprints, and conditions. So that's a look at the antique Bible. So we've looked at 3 sites: the Great Site, the Bible Museum, and the Antique Bible. And there's other ones out there as well. As you can see, there's not a lot of Bibles for sale, but there are Bibles out there dating back to the 1500s, 1600s, and they're worth, depending on their provenance, depending on their quality, they're worth a lot of money. But as you can see, you can also pick up facsimiles of them, which are only worth several $100s if you would like a copy of one of those ancient Bibles in your library. So I was reading somewhere else that if you have an old book, which a Bible like this one I showed you, which is 100 years old, it's not worth all that much. 200 years, maybe a little bit more. 300 years, maybe a bit more. You've really got to go back to these early original first edition copies, 1500, 1600 Bibles, to really be worth the thousands of dollars that they're asking for them. I hope you enjoyed this video about looking at where can you buy an antique Bible, a rare Bible, etc. Please make a comment about if you're interested. Do you own actually an antique Bible? Have you been to a bookshop where they do have those Bibles for sale? Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share so that more people may see it. Until next time, God bless.